Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Live by Heart Today, Show 51, Living by Heart, with your hosts, Dawn Spiegelberg and Wendy R. Wolf. Our show begins now. Streaming from Retro Earth Studio and brought to you by
Learn to play jazz piano like a pro, by a pro, with Jazz Piano Pro Essentials at jazzpianopro.com.
and wearehistorically.com, conscious human apparel. It's time for the next episode of Live by Heart
Today.
Hello and welcome to the Live by Heart Today show number 51. This is a show designed to help you navigate change, uncertainty, and the new world we found ourselves in. We'll talk a little bit about science, a little bit about how the body works, a little bit about intuition, and we'll talk a lot about transformation. I'm Dawn Spiegelberg, a posture therapist and coherence coach. We're focusing on living agreements, and today's theme is living by heart. With me for today's Heart to Heart is my co-host, Wendy R. Wolf, professional transformation facilitator. Welcome, Wendy.
Yay, we're living by heart and our show is Living by Heart. So exciting. And this is our 52nd show. This is a year. It's amazing. You started this a year ago, Dawn. How does that feel?
Incredible. It's exciting. Lots of momentum behind us. I have to say, adding you to the show has just been absolutely wonderful. And I think it benefits everybody. It benefits me, benefits our producer. The show is just absolutely amazing with you here. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. And you know, just a tiny little retrospect. How has it been relative to your dreams and visions? Like, is this what you pictured? Is this what you wanted?
Oh, that's a great question. I did not have a specific, this is where I wanted to go with the show. Our producer is phenomenal. And when he first introduced the idea, I just said yes. Like, I wanted us to do a show and to serve people and benefit people. And it has definitely done that. It's helped me, it's helped other people, and we're all growing, which was the theme of our last show, which is about mastering change, right? Change is going to happen, whether you want it to or not. No one, when I look at a year ago, exactly a year, I've been working from home. My husband's been home. My kids haven't been in school. No one saw that coming in January. No one saw it coming in February. And there has just been so much uncertainty that it's been difficult to navigate it. And this show has been one of those rocks to stand on. It's been consistent. We've had great conversations, and I keep coming back to it time and time again. So
Yeah.
it's far exceeded.
Awesome. And I do want to validate what you and Rusty came up with as far as the description of the show it's just so brilliant. I mean, we're just half the time we're just talking about whatever we darn well please, and we're always on target. Always on target relative to this description that you guys created. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
So, what does it mean to you to live by heart? I'd really love for you to hear and really explicate that today.
Oh, thanks for asking. So I was attracted to the concept of living by heart because it's a physical thing. It's not just some airy fairy, I'll pray and meditate and, maybe what I want to happen will happen. It's actually been studied, and there are body changes that happen when we live by heart. And one of the most notable, we didn't talk about this a whole lot last year, 2020, especially during the coronavirus coming and then staying, right? Nobody knew it was going to stay as long as it did. But when you live by heart, it boosts your immunity.
Mm.
And we needed it more than ever last year.
Yes.
So, how does it do that? This is so incredible because it shifts our nervous system. It shifts us out of the run for your life, something is after us. In the case of last year, it was coronavirus is after us. And it brings you to a place where you are more certain, where you're accepting that it's here and that there are changes we have to make. We have to wear a mask, we have to stay home. And when we accept that and live into it, that's when we boost our immunity. That's when our nervous system changes from, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is crazy, freaky, to, okay, this is where we are. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I'm going to make breakfast for the kids. I'll let the dogs out for them to do their business. And then I'll go to work. It's in my house, my office is in a corner of a room, right? But I'm going to get up tomorrow. The sun is going to shine. I'm going to drink my coffee and we'll keep going. And you talk about teleos, the maturing, the developing. And it seems to me that there are two types of people. Those people who, when presented with all this change, kind of rolled with it. We practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So we practice rolling, right? Somebody's going to throw you
Yes.
down and you
So
roll.
fun.
You got to roll with it. Otherwise, you crash
Awesome.
and it hurts like hell. But if you
Yes.
roll, right, you're still getting thrown, you're still hitting the ground,
Yes.
but it's not uncomfortable. You're moving with it. And then you stand up and it's like, wow, let's do that again.
Yes.
Right? Which is different than crash, burn, oh,
Mm-hmm.
So living by heart gives you the tools to roll through the crashes. The tools, it's also referred to as personal resilience. And that's your bounce back, right? Because we're all going to fall, we're all going to get smashed, we're all going to hit a wall. And are we capable? Do we have enough energy to bounce back, to come back?
Yes.
So we mentioned uncertainty last year and the importance of certainty. So what can we be certain of? There's going to be change. We're certain the sun is very likely to come up in the morning.
Yes.
Right. But beyond that, there isn't a whole lot of certainty. My husband was traveling last week, and there's no certainty he's coming back into my life. I mean, I planned for it. I planned for him to be here, but something
Right.
could happen.
Could.
Something could happen to any of us. We never know. Are we going to step into the street and suddenly be hit? We just don't know. There's that uncertainty. But we can take certainty in the things that we can be certain of. And that is, I know I'm going to bounce back. If my husband never comes home again, I know I'm going to make it through. Me and the kids together, we'll make it through. There'll be changes. There'll have to be changes. But it doesn't have to wreck me.
Right.
So that's living by heart. It's continuing to live in the face of adversity, change. It's resilience.
Yes.
Another thing about living by heart is the opposite of confusion. It's what's possible inside. So with coronavirus and people's jobs, lots of people lost work. I lost work. And there was a little confusion, right? I realized, we're closing down restaurants. We're closing down lots of things. That means people aren't going to come to my office for treatments like they did before. And in that confusion, we can hide in a shell, right? We can say, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can do what you and I did, which was pivot. We
Yeah.
started a show.
Right. Yeah.
And we looked at the situation. I said, well, my calendar is going to be different. I'm going to have a little more open time. And what did I do? I filled it with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so it did a few things. One, it changed my focus. So I wasn't focusing on poor me. And it continued my vision of reaching people with the good, important news of mastering change, of neutrality, of certainty, of living by heart.
Mm-hmm.
So, living by heart is a roadmap for continuing, a roadmap that will guide you to continue moving toward your purpose. And I believe everyone has an individual expression of their own divine self that no
Mm-hmm.
one else can fill. So
Yes.
living by heart puts you in alignment with that so that you can be resilient, so that you can be certain, so that you can keep going in the face of anything.
Yes. Beautiful.
I'm kind of rolling through them fast.
No, it's so great. Yes.
We also in our show talked about keeping our eyes on our own page. Yeah. So living by heart changes our focus. And again, I'll say it's a physiological focus, refocusing, because especially when times are troubling, when times are difficult, we see what's happening with our eyes. We're listening to what's happening. We're smelling, we're tasting. And all of those things are feeding us information. And when we're bombarded with information, especially because the news is designed to tell us what's happening from a specific perspective. It
Mm-hmm.
seems to be all the things that are wrong with the world.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is, right?
It leads,
We
it
know,
bleeds.
pardon?
It leads, it bleeds.
Yes,
It bleeds, it leads.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Um, so with that bombardment in our senses, our system cannot conclude anything other than tragedy, anything other than
Yeah.
the worst is yet to come. This is bad and it's going to get worse. And this is worse today, but it's going to get worse more, right? Like it's always a story of worse. We're going to open up society. Oh, but no, we can't, right? Like there's always this. And you talk about the carrot and the stick, and this is the way I see the carrot and the stick. They're going to say, oh, here, have a bite of the carrot. And then just at the moment when you think you're getting good real estate on it, they pull it away and say, no, you can't, right?
That's Charlie Brown in the football.
Yes, that's Charlie Brown in the football. Right when he knows he's going to make contact, she just goes, whoop, and then he falls again. And every time he gets up again, every
Yes,
time he
he
gets up.
does.
So the point I'm making is that it's so easy to look at everybody else's page.
Yes.
It's so easy to look at the page that the media is painting.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to look at the page of everybody on Facebook.
Oh God, yeah.
And a lot of that is coming from a place of internal conflict, right? Anger. And it makes sense. It makes sense because things are changing in the world. And the truth is, when we live by heart, it gives us perspective so that we can be more objective and a little more neutral. Yes, things like the patriarchy exist. And yes, there are a lot of things that happen in the world to other people that we don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And when we stand in objectivity, when we live by heart, we can see for ourselves what we are meant to do, how we are meant to contribute. And I think it's hard for people because they see some of the atrocities They see hunger in other countries,
Yeah.
and it's so wrenching. And is it your purpose to make a change there?
That's the question.
Yes.
That's the question, because there's so much need in so many places.
Yes.
We can end up just spinning in circles and making no difference, or just getting overwhelmed and hiding under the bed.
Spinning in circles and overwhelm.
Yes.
That's really important to see. I spoke with a woman at some point last year, and she was describing this. She was saying there are so many things um, that I could contribute to, right? Do I work for the food bank? Do I, deliver groceries to the elderly who shouldn't leave their house? Like she was looking at all these opportunities. And I said, look at your life purpose and there will be the match. There you'll know.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that was difficult for her because she wasn't clear on it.
Yeah.
And that was a part of her struggle. She didn't know
Right.
where to contribute because she hadn't decided on a vision for herself yet, or she
Right.
hadn't chosen, or
Yeah.
it was,
Uncovered, whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you really help with stuff like that. It's like, can we let the dust settle? Can we
Yeah.
notice who we are? No. We talked about this last time too. Can we become who we are? Can we live into our genius? It's the same stuff.
It is the same stuff. And one of the shows we talked about are 7 things. That recipe brings us to the place where it's possible to live by heart. It's possible for us to be certain, for us to take a step back and be change, master the change. So the first thing is, we said it was so not obvious, but being in rest, right? That was our show on action. Take action, but we're
Start
in
with
rest first, right?
yes. So
Uh,
important.
very important. And we'll talk a little bit more about rest and living by heart when we come back from this short break.
Let's give a shout out to our sponsor. Thank you, We Are Historically, for making this show possible. Shop online at wearehistorically.com.
As a posture therapist, I'm qualified to pinpoint the cause of physical symptoms by realigning the body, and then it's the body that heals itself. When you are in a state of overwhelm, your mind is out of alignment with your values. As a coherence coach, I'm astute enough to identify the root causes and show you how to realign with what you value, and your mind can be whole. You can live by heart today.
Hi, I'm Darius Wilrich. I instruct an online video course that teaches anyone how to play jazz piano like a pro with my proven step-by-step system that makes it simple to learn. Jazz Piano Pro Essentials. Learn the quickest way to start memorizing and playing scales today. Download my free Quick Start Guide.
Welcome back to the Live by Heart show. This is show number 51, and we're so excited to share it with you. We're talking about living by heart. And I mentioned disconnection, confusion, and looking outside ourselves, looking at other people. And all of those things are mitigated, shifted when we live by heart. And last year, we spent a lot of time talking about sort of around about the ways in which we can live by heart. It's an actual practice. We can build the muscles of living by heart, which Wendy has done a phenomenal job of practicing living by heart from the energetic place, from the spiritual place. And living by heart is electromagnetic. That is the spirit. That is the energy place. And in order to understand, come to terms with, and learn more about the electromagnetic field, it helps us to rest. Wendy, would you like to spend a minute talking about that aspect, about the spiritual, the energetic. Just give us some tidbits on how that's so helpful.
Well, around rest, our society is so, I don't think we even realize how much is so, the set point is on striving and effort and go, 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 go. And where we are is not okay. And I'll be better tomorrow. It's a lot of pain and discord and upset and tiredness in that. And I'll just say about rest, like when I do a rest workshop, specifically about rest, the first thing that happens is everybody starts yawning and wanting to fall asleep. Like the amount of tired that's behind all the striving is ridiculous. So we start to go to rest and it's just like, I need a nap.
Yes.
It's over and over, almost everyone. And so that in itself, and that shows you the overarching. It's like, can we come to a certain vibration or beingness or set point or on the physical, in the world, people talk about mindset. Can we come to that place that is a totally different thing? And from that place, what's possible is completely different.
Yes. In describing living by heart, I often share with people that it's quieting the mind so we can hear the softer voice of our heart.
Nice.
And being in a state of rest allows that mind chatter to come down a few decibels.
Yes.
It also allows us to be objective about it because we know that's the job of our mind. It's going to compare, it's going to contrast, it's going to analyze.
Yeah.
And when we rest, it allows us to see it and know that it's going to go up and go down. And that sometimes I'm thinking more and sometimes I'm thinking less. And I'm big on analyzing. And you've helped me see that I can just sit in a place of knowingness. That learning is constant, and I don't have to be analyzing everything so much and so often.
Yeah, and it can keep chattering, it probably will, and keep judging, and it probably will, but it doesn't mean that needs to drive the car of our lives.
Yes.
Right? Like it can still be chattering, but it doesn't have to have the wheel.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I like it. I liken it to my co-pilot. It can inform me, but I get to decide if I'm going to turn here or in the next block.
Yes. Yes. So I don't know what you have on your list. I do have a burning question around this, so I just want to let that come in.
Please.
So I've heard you talk about heart math.
Yeah.
And I've heard you talk about also and I don't know if it's related, there's a whole lot of research that shows all this is actually useful because some of us are very intellectual and want to know the research. So anything you can say about that would be great, or maybe resources for people to look.
HeartMath is a company. You can look them up, heartmath.org, lots of HeartMath things. And lots of great research coming out of that company. I'd like to share with everyone one compelling research study they did was showing images to people and measuring the electromagnetic field and also their mind's ability to recognize the image. And so heart coherence, which is living by heart, that's the mechanism for living by heart, can be measured. Isn't that amazing? And a lot of people have heard about it. It's called heart rate variability. And recently, a lot of people in the personal training field have latched on to heart rate variability. And it's just monitoring your nervous system, right? And we can see what our nervous system is doing and how it responds by our heartbeat, right? So when something startles you, your heart beats faster. And when you're in a state of calm, your heart beats slower. And I'll say in fencing, we practice maintaining our calm and composure. We practice living by heart and heart coherence in the face of someone desperately trying to touch us. and
Yes.
us defending ourselves. So it's a great practice for heart coherence, in the moment. So the study was showing individuals images, and some of the images were things that were calming, like a rabbit in the grass and puppies and kittens, scenes of sunsets and very calming things. And some of the images were more startling, like a ferocious lion's mouth open, things like that. And they were measuring the response of the people. They were measuring what happened in their heart and in their mind when these images came up on the screen. And there was a certain period of time between each image. So it was, I think, 10 seconds between images. And it turned out that they were measuring the heart coherence, the heart rate variability, and the heart was responding to the image before the image came up on the screen. And it was something like a full 4 seconds before the image appeared. And it was an accurate response of the heart. So this tells me that our heart knows stuff. It is tapped into what I call the Fibonacci knowingness, right? The ratio of balance and harmony. It's tapped into that. So I would love to encourage people that not only does it boost our immunity, not only does it deepen our relationships and give us more options to choose from in our life and quiet our physiological body, it puts us in touch with a knowingness that is just amazing.
Yes. Yes, it's pretty cool how the energetic, or whatever you call it, relative to the physical and the body have started to be measured and researched. And there's lots of studies now about things like that. It's extraordinary. And I personally, I tend to very separate them because it keeps my analyzer happy to be I can't understand this at all. But actually, there's quite a body of work being done in the last few decades that show extraordinary stuff going on. And so, can we tap into that?
Yes.
And you help people tap into that and
yes.
and make and align and have coherence and be able to dance in a much more comfortable way with what's going on and what's coming.
Mm-hmm. So that we have resilience, so that we have certainty, so that we can remain objective and neutral in the face of life that's changing. This is the practice of mastering change when we live by heart. So thank you so much, Wendy, for joining me today. And thanks to everyone for listening. We would love to hear from you. If our message spoke to you, if you're interested in mastering change or in living by heart, please tell us, leave us a comment, reach out. For more information, please go to livebyhearttoday.com and like and follow this page. It would mean so much to me. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our programs. We're here every week on Thursdays at 4:44 Pacific time. From our heart to yours, we're creating a better tomorrow because we live by heart today.
And that concludes this portion of
Live by Heart Today!
Thank you for watching. View more episodes on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you, We Are Storically, for your conscious human apparel. Shop online at wearestorically.com.
Hello, my name is Wendy R. Wolf, and I hope you come to my intensive. I'm really interested in working together with people who are big feelers, healers, also lovers, and leaders. These are the people that tend to be really paying attention to what's going on the inside and how we can help people from there, help other people. and I'm going to offer an intensive with interactive exercises so that we can become empowered as big feelers and healers and lovers and leaders. And I hope you join me. Please go to my website, wendyrwolf.com, and on the top I'll have a button to sign up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Darius Wilrich. I'll teach you everything you need to know about playing jazz piano like a pro with my 12-week online video course and downloadable guidebook, Jazz Piano Pro Essentials. Enroll today at jazzpianopro.com.
Thank you for joining us. Have a happy always.